T-Boys TV, we are back with a T-Boy Discusses. Obviously, it's been a while. The last one was the appointment of Wilshere. But in this one, to be honest, guys, I'm still quite angry after yesterday's performance. Now, I was actually angry after the Fleetwood game as well, but I couldn't quite do a reaction as I only listened to it and saw clips and, the amazing video Darth Vader done. So I couldn't really judge too much. But watching that game yesterday, I mean, like I said in the match reaction, do make sure you check that out. That is the worst first half of football I've watched since the Manchester derby. That was 0-0 last year. I mean, that was absolutely dire. I mean, that first half, there was no, intensity. A lot of players were so off it. I mean, Saville, who I've been, highly, I'll give him a lot of praise this year. I thought he was absolutely awful in the game. Not just him, particularly in that first half, like NAISMITH with the passing was awful. Like I said, I actually thought he defended well in the first half, which he hasn't done a lot this season. And then obviously the second half, the goal, I mean, for me, we should have made changes a bit earlier. And even the first change we made, I mean, Anderson, what's that all about? I mean, and NAISMITH was still on the pitch as well. It just didn't make sense. And then, doing what he's done a lot this year, holding on to the ball, but this time it led to a mistake, and a lot of fans frustrated with him, and a lot of fans have been frustrated with him, but it was very mixed by the sounds of it. People that were at the ground, obviously there was boos, and there was claps when he, come over, obviously when he did come off. Now, like I've said, for me, he has to be dropped. Will he be dropped? Probably not, but it's like I said yesterday, we've got so many options of players you can put there on that left-sided centre-back if you are to stick with a back three, or even if you go with a back four, you've got more, it'll be less players at centre-back, so there'll be more options to essentially choose from than it would be with three centre-backs, if you get what I'm saying. So we can definitely do it, and, Wilshere's got to show a bit of bollocks now, to be quite honest with you, I feel, because at the end of the day, like I said yesterday, whether you rated Matt Bloomfield or not, he did have the balls to not play NAISMITH in games. The Middlesbrough game, obviously the final game of the season. I mean, yes, NAISMITH was, not on the worst of form. I mean, going into that game, other than the red card, obviously he got a few games earlier. But, he did do it then for that game. Obviously, that wasn't the reason why we lost that game. Obviously the half-injured Morris up front was pathetic, but that's gone now. That's gone. But it's an example that it can be done. Matt Bloomfield done it, so we've got to show a bit of balls about us now, because this is the thing, like, I guarantee if Wells was still fit, he would be playing as well. Players like him and NAISMITH, I don't give a fuck about their age. Respectfully, they're doing my head in now. And I don't like effing and blinding, but it's just got to that stage now where they need to just stop playing. Obviously, Wells is injured. It's the only reason he is not playing. But NAISMITH, you need to drop him, man. You've got so many other players you can put there ahead of him. Like I say, whether you play a back three or a back four. And, he's just been so poor this season. I mean, don't get me wrong, I didn't expect him to set the world alight, but I was just happy to bring him in because I thought his experience would be shown to the other players. Especially in this league, he should be able to do well, like we've said with fucking nearly every player. But it's just so annoying, and yeah, like I said, I don't think he will be dropped, but he just should be for me. But yeah, and I'm sure pretty much everyone would agree. But another thing I wanted to talk about, a few things I want to talk about in today's video, Jordan Clark. Now, I've got to give him massive praise yet again. I mean, come on, and that's a Clark that's been out since my birthday, and he, was very impactful straight away. Obviously, he hit the post, very unlucky. And, even though Kadoa got the equaliser, and fair play to him, he keeps scoring these goals for us, keeps saving us, which I am getting sick of, want someone else to do it. But even though he did score, and, he'll come across as a saviour in that game, I honestly think Jordan Clark's influence on coming onto the pitch was the reason we probably got something out of that result. Because, I'll be honest, we weren't great in the game, up until the end when we started putting a bit of pressure. But, as soon as Clark come on, bang, he hit the post, and then we were pretty much on him for the rest of the game, if we're going to be totally honest, from there on in. So I always felt, Clark was going to try and make an impact at some point. But he should have been like the first or second priority subs alongside Shaden Morris for me. And again, I thought Shaden Morris was okay when he come on. Obviously, he was doing his usual running at players, getting the ball into the box, and things like that. But yeah, Clark was a massive influence on why we did end up getting a result out of that game. So again, got to give him massive credit. And even though he's just come back, because how bang average everyone else has been, especially in particular in midfield, very inconsistent. I mean, Clark is pretty consistent as long as he's playing, more as an attacking midfielder. So for me, I probably would start him on Saturday. I mean, he is that type of player we need in that type of game against Port Vale, because I cannot stress this enough. I think we're going to really struggle on Saturday. I mean, I'd love to be proven wrong, and people go, oh, you're completely wrong, but I can't see it. I think it's either going to be a 0-0, I'm going to be honest, or we're going to nick a 1-0. I think the way they're going to set up, low block, I can't blame them. Bottom of the league, obviously got a game in hand, or they might have more, I don't actually know. But either way, obviously their game got called off yesterday. So I know they at least got one game in hand. And they're going to try and battle, for the points. When you're down there, just naturally, whatever league, sometimes when you play a team near the bottom or in the bottom, it's difficult. And they are going to play a low block, and I can't blame them for that. But we got to try and break it down. I mean, we couldn't break it down against Rotherham, so I worry in this Port Vale game, to be honest. And despite them being right down there, I mean, they got a good result towards the start of the season against Cardiff, who are right up there, not really running away with it, but they're just getting the better results. Do you know what I mean? Compared to the other teams. So, it's going to be a difficult game. And the problem was in the Rotherham game is I thought the midfield was quite static. And Jerry Yates was dropping deep and things like that, which wasn't helping. But having the likes of Jordan Clark in this game to get into them spaces, try and take on the man when he gets the ball. Do you know what I mean? I think he'd be influential. And I know I said on the watch along and things, I don't really want to rush players back that have just come back. Likes of Brown, and I don't really want to do it with Clark, but the type of game we've got coming up, I would do it, to be quite honest. Yeah, I thought Walsh was average, other than that shot he had, which then led to, obviously, the corner he had from the goal and the cross. The assist, I thought he was bang average, other than that, to be quite honest. You have another frustrating yellow card. Saville weren't great. Like I say, second half he picked up, but he still weren't great. But I probably still would play him. But Lamine, I just don't. He's very inconsistent in that more attacking role. But again, he's a CDM, so I don't understand why we've never really played him there. To be quite honest, yeah, it's been very rare when we have. So yeah, I would be playing Jordan Clark in this game. And yeah, I want to talk a bit about Jerry Yates as well. I mean, again, chances yesterday, poor. We've got to be honest. I mean, that ball Brown done right at the start, that was a great ball. If you compare that to the Bolton game where Brown, for me, overhit it, nice idea, but he overhit it. I can't really blame Yates for that Bolton game, that chance he missed. But this game, what was he doing? You've got to be alert, man. You're the striker. And then getting caught offside twice in the first half. I think the second time he had a shot that went over the bar. It's just frustrating now because yes, he's trying to get in positions, but then there's problems like when we're defending, he's so deep. Why is he so deep for? Like, you get the ball up there, who the fuck's up there? It's like when we played Stockport, I think Wells was starting that game. But like even the earlier signs, when we did do a bit better after them 15, 20 minutes, Brummels played a crossing at one point. Lamine was the only one in the flipping box. I don't like that. And obviously they're probably being told to come deep and that. But when you have one up front, it's pathetic to me because then you've got no one up there and it's stupid. Like, two up front is the way to go. And I just think you've got to play the right two. You've got to play two strikers. I mean, in the end, I don't know how true it was, but it did say, and it did look like it on the game with Kadoa being on the left, obviously going into the game, thought it'd be a right wing back. But it did say it was two up front, Lamine and Yates. Why? I mean, if that is the case, why? And I only believe it because it then moved Kadoa to the left where he was. So, I don't flip it though. I just don't get why we try and complicate things. It's so frustrating. Like, even the subs, they should be like for like subs, like the ones yesterday. Like, NAISMITH, bang, off for Anderson. Like Morris off for a player that was on the right. Do you know what I mean? We're just overcomplicating it, taking Yates off, and then obviously bring Nordos on later, which I was surprised about. But then it's like, who's Who's he bringing? Oh, it's just fucking all confusing, mate. I don't understand. And we've been doing this. Reece Burke last season, he lost to Sheffield United, is saying we need to go back to basics, and we're still complicating stuff. I really, really don't understand it. But yeah, the final thing I will talk on is Jack Wilshere. I am going to give him a little bit of credit in terms of after the game. Like I say, I thought his in-game subs were weird. Other than Clark and Morris, I didn't really understand the others. I mean, Nordos' lack of time, really. And then Anderson, I mean, no. For me, I'd have been bringing on Makoso, but he just don't get a sniff for some reason. Why have him on the bench? I've heard rumours, don't know how true it is, that, he's not going to be in the future plans. Well, he just shouldn't be in the squad then. Just don't have him on the flipping thing. Bring a youngster through at this fucking rate. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just so frustrating. But yeah, I will give him credit after the game, like I say, Wilshere, for going over to a couple of Luton fans towards the bottom and actually talking to him. He actually come over and like climbed over and spoke to him. And I do rate that because we were dog shit. And I think he knew it in his post-match. He obviously bigged up the fans, a type of performance, obviously still repping, still, travelling and going. And ours are sold out away end as well. And again, it's not the furthest, but you have to give the fans credit for how diabolical we've been. Also, the fact it is in London, so it's more pricey and things like that. But he come over and he did speak to the fans. I don't know exactly what was said, but the fan was obviously frustrated, rightly so, because this is just dire. Like I say, that was the worst 45 minutes I've watched in a very long time from Luton. And don't get me wrong, been very dire this season, but yeah, that was just awful, man. Absolutely awful. For both teams as well, which didn't help at all. Like, just watching it, it was just, yeah. Amount of time, the goalkeepers, I think they got the fucking most touches in the game. Both of them. The amount of times they're pinging it and flipping went to the other one. Oh, it's just shocking. But he come over and he did speak to him, and I do rate that. Do rate that from Wilshere. But he just needs to start getting things right now. And for me, the staff have got to be doing more. Like, surely, like, I know he's learning on the job, Wilshere, but surely, like, Powell and that have got to be telling him what's not working. Like, especially Powell, he's so experienced in the game. You would just think, like, he would know what's what. Like, continuation of one striker up front. Do you know what I mean? Complicating players in certain positions. Like, it ended up again saying Longwick was a right back, which he wasn't bad there. He picked out some nice passes on the ground, but it's not his position, man. He's a centre-back. I don't like doing this crap. It's just so frustrating. And then obviously we found out yesterday Hakeem's out for weeks. Oh, mate, it's just not getting any better at the football club. But yeah, I thought I'd do a little T-Boy discusses today. I just wanted to get my thoughts out a bit more to you guys and everything like that. So yeah, do let me know your thoughts on the Naismith thing, how influential Jordan Clark was. And do let me know your thoughts on Jerry Yates as well. And unfortunately, Nordos did not do enough to start over him, like I said in the match reaction yesterday. So it probably still will be Yates on Saturday. Let me know how you're feeling getting ahead of the Port Vale game. And do let me know your thoughts on Wilshere as well, coming over to a couple of Luton fans. And yeah, as for content, obviously, we got the Hat Show on Friday. It is just myself. My dad reminded me yesterday that he is going out with work. It's like a Christmas thing they do. So yeah, it will just be me. So I will be talking about that game a bit more. I'll let you guys know already. I'm not giving them round a match. And yeah, I will be getting into player ratings. Then obviously I will preview the Port Vale game. Obviously I've briefly touched on it here, but I'll go into more detail. And then obviously on Saturday we got the match reaction from myself, a fan cam from Mike, probably a fan cam from David as well. And the vlog, I'll probably upload that on Sunday. So that is the content coming up. So yeah, big up to everyone that has tuned into this. Don't forget to smash a like, subscribe, follow me across all my socials, subscribe to the X channel, do become a member, and all of that. And I will see you guys in a bit. Take care. Peace.